Oops, bad timing. Hello folks. I think I switched on a little bit quicker than I was intending to there. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, I do need a sip of this very, very ice cold rosé. It's a really warm afternoon as I'm filming this, and I've got the fan on in the background and I'm not wearing the jacket. I was going to wear the jacket, but it just is too blooming warm, so I've left it behind. So please bear with me a second. Hope you're having a nice chilling drink yourselves. There we go. So today then, I thought we'd do something a little bit different. Now, I haven't got quite the lighting I was hoping for, because I've just realised my lights have gone flat. But anyway, we're going to look at some good old-fashioned model kit nostalgia. Yes, instructions from bygone days. Are you ready for this? I've got all sorts now. I've got an envelope here, very kindly provided by my brother-in-law, with one or two fascinating, blasts from the past. I thought I'd just start with the ones I've got first, and then we'll get on to his perhaps more interesting ones later. Let's have a look at what we got then. So, some of these are going to bring back some memories for you, I hope so. Anyway, here we go. So we've got the Folland Nat from Airfix. It's the Folland Nat trainer, and this is for the hanger bag. Look, it's got the punch out for the shelf racking, where you put it on the shelf rod. Typically in somewhere like Woolworths in the UK, and then it would have the bag underneath, usually suspended. Actually, this one is it's got no obvious staple marks on it, which are curious. You can see there was a price stick here. At one time, excuse me, I'm yawning because I've had a very early start and it's so warm in here. Oh, I feel like nodding off. Anyway, so it's the Folland Nat. It's got some rockets on it though, so it's the trainer, probably based at Anglesey. Let's have a little look at that, and it'll give us a bit of a feeling for how these instructions used to be. So that on the back they've got a little bit of a history. I think I won't read all of it as I'm not doing a full review, but I have to say, so this is an Airfix one, clearly. But they were really good at this. This is why I get cross today. This is Airfix from about 68, 69, I think. You know, it's like 60 years ago, almost. Certainly 55 years ago, and it's like they were doing better basic data about a subject for a model than some of the manufacturers do today. I mean, we get ICM and Revell and Airfix, they make an effort, of course, but there are some others that just don't. Some of these Chinese manufacturers, quite frankly, and I don't think it's good enough. But there you go, you've got a complete, we talk about the Bristol Orpheus engine. The Bristol Orpheus, by the way, is the engine that was used in the Bluebird. Donald Campbell, Malcolm was his father. Donald Campbell's record-breaking but ultimately ill-fated Bluebird had the Bristol Orpheus put in it just before the fateful record attempt. What was that, 1967 January, wasn't it, on Coniston? Anyway, there we go. So let's have a look at the actual instructions then, because I think you find that the way that they go about it is quite interesting compared to today. I'm going to switch that fan off because whilst it's giving me relief, it's probably annoying you terribly. Let's have a look. So what they used to do, they'd have this like an exploded diagram style of instructions, and then an actual descriptive step-by-step guide below of how to go about it. So it says locate and cement the back plates of the air intakes and blah blah blah, and it is literally walking you through the construction in actual text, which I think is quite good, to be honest. It takes away any confusion. Now, some of these, and you'll see more later, some of them can be quite busy. This one is not too bad, let's be honest, it's fair. Well, clear, we talked about famously with my Kinetic Sea Harrier, the lack of instruction or no arrows showing what goes to what. You can see there Airfix are not doing that. They're giving you a clear indication of which part goes to which slot or hole. Very, very crystal clear, which is what we come to expect from people like them. And then underneath there's a really good description as the build progresses, and then at the end you end up with the option of these tanks or rockets. And then there's a colour scheme which sadly is in black and white, but apart from that, very impressive, So then if you wind forward a little bit, let's wind forward sort of 5 years, Then you come to Matchbox. We've got plenty of those here. And here we've got the Matchbox, and this is the colour guides, which I was saying I enjoyed so much. Because they were in colour, you know, here we go. So here's the Spitfire, 72nd scale Spitfire Mark 9. Very, very clearly shown. And we've got the Polish Squadron, 306 Squadron or 124 Squadron Royal Air Force, there we go. Same with the Hurricane, same sort of thing. One's at Warmwell. This is the ones on the box art. You're famous, remember, it's attacking the airfield at not Calais, sorry, at Caen. Car PK airfield was being attacked there. And then we've got the same sort of thing. We've got some armour here with the Puma. I've cut out and kept these because they're so nice, you know. And you know they do it really well, don't they? They show you the colours, all the camo, how it should look. And then obviously in this case it's the street scene. Very well done. So then we get on to your actual instructions, and I may not do all these because they're going to be a little bit repetitive, but you've got things like the Tempest. Again, we get a little bit of a write-up here, a bit of history, which is what we want. Here we get the actual specification about the aircraft and the performance. On the reverse we get the colour guide, and we get the small parts paint guide as well. And then you get the typical, very straightforward construction. Matchbox were great at not making it too complicated. Every pane of instructions, every stage was clearly marked out and not overcrowded, you know. And they did it really well. And then here on my thumb is they've got the list of all the other kits. So that was a typical one of those. I think there's a Hannah Mag. A bit more detail here for the Hannah Mag. I noticed it's got the later art without the swastika on it. So this is probably 1983 or thereabouts. And again, same sort of layout. You get your small part paint guide here, and then you get. This is when they went to doing it in a vertical format, which I didn't really like, to be honest. But anyway, obviously, all of building up all your road wheels and your sprockets and drive wheels, etc. Building up your front steering and axle, and then bringing in all your internals, the interior, the bonnet, so to speak, the side running boards, and then of course all your stowage boxes and weapons and lights and bumpers and things. And then ultimately the best bit of all, the diorama. Look at that. And then of course you've got your paint guide at the end. It's showing the Africa Corps symbol, slightly adulterated, I have to say. I don't really approve of, as you know. And then we've got some others here. We've got some that. Oh, here's another. It's the Harrier. Harrier. Look at that. Mark 1 Harrier, Hawker Siddeley. Yes. This is a strange one. It's slightly out of register. They've got the black and the white. They've actually got a slight issue there with the print register at the bottom for some reason. On the back again, paint guide, colour plan, and then you've got your assembly of your Harrier, building up your nozzles, jet nozzles for the vectored thrust, and then here we've got the intakes at the cockpit, the tailplanes, wings going on, main gear, and then ultimately all your stores and weapons and gear going in there. Very, very nice. In true purple as well, the correct colour. And what have we got here? A couple of classics here. The Spitfire Mark 9, same sort of thing with the colour. Little paint guide on the back. And then we've got, yeah, here we got the the main instructions. Bringing in you've got like a polycap type setup, haven't you? Not actually polycap in the true sense, but so that your propeller can spin freely. Bring your tailplanes, putting your wings together, assembling the main fuselage and wings all together there, and then finally bring it all together with the gear and the guns and the radiators, etc. And reminding you to crimp the tail on one of the versions. Then we've got the Hurricane 2C. Same sort of thing. All done in a very similar manner, isn't it? doing your propeller first and then popping that in between the fuselage sides, etc, etc. 2C cannons, Hispano cannons, 20mm going on there, air intake underneath, chin radiator and the gear. And again, it's got the small parts paint going on the reverse. And what else we got? We got the Corsair here. Oh, it's a bigger one. Orange race, it's a bit bigger, got to zoom back. Yes. Paint going on the reverse again. And then pilot going in there, chin ducting, putting in your jet pipe at the back, building up your bays for your gear, putting the bay doors on. And there are many, many bombs on this aircraft. What was this? Was this 16? I can't remember. 16, I think. And putting your nose and your cockpit on, your wings on, etc, etc. And then all at the end, all of the aforementioned many, many bombs. Look at them. 4 racks of 6. 4 racks of 6. There you go then. 24. It's more than I said, isn't it? 24. Wow. Okay, so Puma. Instructions for your Puma here. Sorry, this is it. Back to the purple race. I've got to zoom back. And then you've got the paint guide for the camo there. Another one of these strange vertical ones. So lots and lots of wheels and bogies on this one. Building up all your wheels, putting all your little tools down the side here. You've got your main turret with your gun going on there. And then again, a very infamous street scene as mentioned earlier. Yes, lovely kit that. A lovely, lovely kit. And it has the small paint guide including some little guys. Where are they? There they are. Little men. I've got some of those men somewhere. They've been hovering around here for a while. And I think, yeah, then we've got the Hunter. Orange range, so we have to draw back for this one. The Hunter, the T7, sorry, Mark 7, T Mark 7 on the Mark F6. Good history, good data, good instructions, nice and simple, very clear. How to build it all up. Putting in your twin seat or your single seat arrangement. Side by side in this aircraft, a bit like a jet provost, it's not front and rear. Must be better being side by side for teaching a pupil, it must be a lot better. You've got a choice here, you've got drop tanks, fuel tanks, 2 types of drop tank, you've got the matter rocket pods, it's got all sorts, lots of different variants to be honest. Gun pods and then all these different stores options at the end. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Anyway, that's those. So that's my, I didn't show you a single one, but I think you're getting the gist of it. Anything that I missed really? There may have been one I missed. Where is it? It was the Focke-Wulf 190, I thought. There it is. The Focke-Wulf 190. Here it goes, which shows the later artwork, interestingly, taking off. Oh, not the earlier one, which I don't think what to do with that. Wasn't that enamoured with it. It was okay though, I quite liked it to be honest. Same sort of thing, except this one, interestingly, had gone into the vertical format, not the usual horizontal planes. So there you go, got to get your FW190. Complete with bomb if you wish it. Well, there we are, got small parts guide on the back. There we go. That is a bit of a whistle-stop tour, and I'm fading here. It's I don't know what the temperature's in here. I mean, it must be 28 degrees or more. It's getting quite warm. In fact, I'm going to put my fan back on. Oh yes, that's nice. Sorry about the noise. I'll just have a moment of fan to cool me, and I'll carry on. Once I've had a quick breather. It is midsummer. I mean, next weekend it's going to be Midsummer's Day, you know. The summer solstice, in fact. In fact, what am I talking about? It's this weekend. It's actually tomorrow. I just realised it's tomorrow. So tonight, basically, is the summer solstice, so that's why I'm feeling a bit warm, probably. Midsummer. So the year is half over, and the mosquito is half over. Ooh. One or two of you are raising eyebrows and looking a bit worried about this mosquito, especially when you heard that I might be moving house. I think that's got people a little bit jumpy. Is he really going to complete it? I must complete my mission. I will. Now here's some real blast from the past. Okay, I'll turn that off. Have a quick blast. Quick drink and a quick blast. Bear with me. Oh, good. Okay, there we go. Now then, look at this. Here's something for the slightly older members amongst you. You remember these? Look at this classic Airfix construction set. The Handley Page Halifax Bomber Mark III. Wow, and it gives you a full history about the Handley Page Halifax. On the back you've got a paint guide, nice and clear. And now this is what okay folks, it's alright to get a bit nervous now, because this is when Airfix are going through this sort of phase, which reminds me in the modern era of AMK, which I think are Chinese, aren't they? I've tried to cram as many parts into one pane as possible. Just look at this. And I have to be honest with you, I don't like these at all. Don't like these at all. Compared to the NAT one we just saw, which was fine. This isn't fine because, it's got this kinetic element about it, where they're not really showing you where it actually goes. Look at this. Did the guy from Kinetic move, did he originate at Airfix in the 60s? Because this is not brilliant. Very, very busy, not showing where the part physically goes, a lot of them. It's kind of vague, isn't it? Look at that. There's a lot of vagueness here. Some have got arrows, some haven't. Some are better than others. But there's a lot of just leaving it to your imagination, which is not great on a big kit, especially an expensive kit. Relatively expensive kits in their time, these were. I don't mean compared to the competition, I just mean, there's a lot of money at stake here. A lot of pocket money. Look at that. It's a bit vague again, isn't it? It's not great. And you're going to see more of this. It's just this era where Airfix were better at describing things than they were actually, doing it visually. Yeah, I think that could be a lot clearer. I think it could be. So that's the Halifax. Then, in a similar vein, we've got the short Sunderland flying boat. Hey, look at this classic. I think it's going to be more of the same. Probably not quite as complicated, but we shall see. So here it is, the Sunderland. Always thought this was a great aircraft. I'd quite like to have a model of one of these. Of course, they used to build these on Lake Windermere at, what's it called? The little bay. On the east coast. Oh, sorry, the east bank, I should say, Windermere. My brain's gone. There's a bay there. And it's something bay, and I've slipped my mind. Here it is in all its glory. Very nice. I've got a book about this actually as well. Just remember, there's a book you can get, which I should have probably checked up on before I came in and scheduled this video. What's this bay called? White Cross Bay, I've remembered. White Cross Bay, because there's a white cross. Somebody died there. I think it was one of these speedboaters actually. I could be wrong. He died there. There's a white cross at the time. They called it White Cross Bay. So anyway, Sunderland set up a factory there because it's so far from the Nazis. It was very hard for them to reach Windermere and get back, unscathed back to France or Germany. Too far for them. So it was away from danger, and it was the perfect place to be able to put them out on the lake, calm water, and launch them, White Cross Bay. Now look at this. Ooh, more of the same. I don't like this. Again, a lot of vagueness about the exact positioning of things. Now, it's not quite as bad as Kinetic, where they were things like antennas, which are just antennas that didn't have a hole, so you didn't have any clue at all where things were supposed to go on that Harrier, for example. It's not a lot better, is it, really? It's not great. You know, it's almost an information overload, really. Look at that. Engines, and then armament, floats and undercarriage finally. It looks like a fun kit, really. I should probably have a go at that one day. Excuse me for yawning again. Early start this morning. Ooh. And what else we got? Here's something completely different. The Airfix Black Prince. Yeah, the Black Prince. Edward of Woodstock. Eldest son of Edward III. Not named the Black Prince until about 1569. Here we go. Now this is a figure, obviously. Yeah, okay. Again, it's not the most eloquent instructions, really. The older amongst you are probably saying, stop being a wimp. This was what we were used to. Vague nonsense. Just make the most of it. Get on with it. Stop making excuses, old chap, is what you're saying. There we go. Black Prince, it looks good, doesn't it, actually? I mean, if you're good at your figure painting, these could be a lot of fun, I think. There we go. That's that one. What else we got? The Golden Hind from Revell. Look at this. The Golden Hind. Look at that. There's a beautiful write-up from them. Full details. Look at that. A rigging guide at the back. Oh, this looks like a bit of a nightmare. Oh my God. Now people say, why don't you build ships, Peter? This is why. Rigging, millions and millions of parts that are the same, and a need for lots of space. That's the reasons I don't make ships. But I have great respect and total admiration for those of you that do, by the way. I really admire some of these wonderful galleons. Look at this. With all the cannons. Look at that. All the cannon carriages laid out. Look, building your cannons. Cool. Fantastic. Standing rigging. Oh, the rigging. I'm sorry, this is just makes my brain almost makes my brain bleed just thinking about it. Look at it. Oh no, 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 no. I'm not up to this. I'm not up to the challenge. Not ready for the challenge, are you? Much to learn. You still have, says Master Yoda. He's right. I'm definitely not up for this. No. Do not have the skills or experience to tackle it. Damn it. But doesn't it look beautiful, yeah? I have a horrible suspicion that the plastic may not do justice to these instructions, to be honest. But there you go. A lot of rigging, a lot of complication, but ultimately, I suspect for those more expert ship builders, that's ship with a P, ship builders amongst you, I think you probably have a lot of fun with that. So what else we got here? Some all sorts of classics here. We've got, I'm not sure what this is, Frog Avro Shackleton. Oh, he's spoiling us with this a little bit. It's a bit strange the way it starts. It's a bit like some of the Matchbox ones did, just no intro page or anything. No history page on these, unfortunately. Just go straight into it. Frog, 172nd Shackleton. I've got to say the instructions are fairly clear though, much clearer than that Airfix we've just seen. Huh. Over the other page, building up your tailplanes, horizontal stabilisers and vertical stabilisers. Look at that. Wings with the flaps and the ailerons. Looks very cool. Building up your engines. Oh yes, sorry. Building your engines up at the bottom here. And then over that look, by the way, this blue, there's a blue ink on this. That blue ink looks awfully like Parker ink blue to me. I recognise that blue from a mile away. I used to have a Parker fountain pen too. And I suspect that somebody's been filling that up a bit too close to the instructions. I'll bet you that's a Parker pen. Who knows? a little pump, what do you call it, the pump reservoir fountain pen. Parker 45, I think they called them. Very nice. I used to like writing with that, it was very cool. Anyway, putting in all your fuselage, etc., and then you put it on your, what's that, what is that? Is that a turret? It's like a turret. Then your engine's going in underneath. And then over here, and then you get your final assembly here. Tells you to put, tells you to put a weight in there. Doesn't tell you how much. It's not really helpful. That could be clearer, couldn't it? One what? 1 ounce? I don't know. 1 kilo? Don't think so. And then here at the finish, you've got to put getting your wings put on, and then you're finished. That's the Frog Shackleton then. That's quite nice, isn't it, actually? How did it go? That way? Yeah, that way. That's the way to do it. Very nice. And then what have we got? We got another ship coming up, and some very interesting stuff. We got an advert for sailing ships, but this is actually the Aurora. Now we're into a bit of American stuff. Aurora, look at that, the Starfire, nice. It gives you a lot of instructions about building it, but no history, sadly. Aurora Plastics of Canada, Ontario. Is Uncle Steve watching? Because he'll enjoy this one. Oh, and it comes in like a photograph. Pretty clear, but in a photographic style. How unusual. I don't remember seeing that before. Showing my ignorance. Not a lot to it, is there, really? I mean, is that it? Does it show a canopy? It doesn't. It doesn't mention a canopy. How very bizarre. Sorry. Does it give you a... Yeah, it's in French and it's in English. Well, that's very, very weird. And then on the back it's offering you sailing ships. Lots of them. Okay, and then... what else we got? The Ravel Coast Guard Cutter East Wind. Good description. And another tricky boat. This time it's a bit more of a beefy one though. It's kind of like a US Navy cutter. They're like half warship, half trawler, aren't they, really, in terms of their build? Very beefy looking little thing. And it's all going on there. Many, many parts. Well, it's not too part heavy, this one. It looks very doable. Lifeboats and everything. Look at that. All the masts and the radar going on there. Very interesting. And then last but not least, the Airfix Battle of Britain class locomotive. Because of course they used to do these trains. Now some of them I think you could motorise. Some you couldn't, so I don't know which one this is. I don't think this is a motorisable one, I think it's just a model. But in the 60s these steam locomotives were supremely popular. Coming to the age of steam, obviously the diesels came in. But these trains became almost a cult, you know, that you had people with their Hornby sets, etc. Other brands are available. Really popular, but these became super popular, these Airfix kits. I know my brother built a couple of them. Even he liked it. Because he used to like trains. It's all there, all the bogies and everything. And you've got your coal stack at the back. The sort of, what do you call it, the coal coach. I'm sure it has a better name than that. And then you end up with your Battle of Britain class locomotive finally. Interesting subjects. It's signal red, malachite green and black mainly. Signal red on the top, malachite green on the sides. Wow. It's fantastic. Well, there you go. That is something a little bit different for you. Oh, you reaches for another glass of cool wine because it's so warm. Oh, melting here. So it's only a short one tonight. Because I knew I couldn't last too long talking about anything today. It's just too hot. Is that all of them? I think that is. put those away for the brother-in-law for him to go back safely for him. But there you go, some blasts from the past. You can see how, when we talk about instructions, how they've kind of evolved and how, well, some have evolved, some haven't. If you, you know, AMK, for example, very like the early Airfix stroke frog style, I've got to say, despite being in the present day. And all those manufacturers, or almost all of them, giving you, apart from Aurora, are giving you a bit of history. Very good. That's what we need to say more of, really. Oh, fan me. I'm so melting, I can't believe it. Oh, should have had champagne today. Anyway, I hope you thought that was interesting, just having a little blast from the past, a little bit of nostalgia. Be interesting to hear if any of you have built any of those kits I've just highlighted. Any of them at all. Because it certainly makes you realise that the evolution is our expectations are very different today, aren't they? But then again, some of these kits, they're actually very expensive now today, let's face it. A lot of these kits are no longer pocket money, are they? Let's be fair. And I think it's reasonable that we expect a lot more than what you got in 1968. You know? I think it's horses for courses, but if you're going to charge a big price, as they do, a lot of them, then they need to make the effort. But it's interesting to see the way it was done in days gone by, isn't it? Anyway, thank you for joining me. I thought it was interesting, something a little bit different there, a little blast from the past. And I look forward to seeing you again in the very near future, hopefully in cooler conditions. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Just want to say to all the members as well, before I forget, probably doing a members night again next Tuesday. So what's that going to be? The 29th, is it? 29th? 30th, I think it is. 30th. So we shall have a members only night then. Thank you to everybody who's written to me. I've got all the emails. I haven't literally had time to reply to anybody, but I will be doing. Because as we go into July, we'll be getting ready to send out these kits, I promised. It'll be probably 3rd, 4th week in July before it actually physically goes out. And I've got a few people looking at my house in the meantime, so I've got to keep it tidy. I can't bring them back till then. But I am very grateful for you. Don't forget, one quick plea to everybody. I've not had many of you members I'm talking about now. Not had too many members this month sending in photographs of their kits. It doesn't have to be something you've built recently. If it's just some kit, you know, a few kits you're proud of, that's fine. Just send them in. I don't mind when it was built. Irrelevant, because I'm showing a host of mine. You know, I think I might do the ME109 this month. Something I enjoyed. The little Tamiya, sorry, the 48 scale. But please keep those photographs coming, because I've got to be honest, we're a bit thin on the ground. I think because it's not really modelling season, isn't it? And quite a lot of you have been probably waylaid with other things and enjoying the sunshine or whatever. But we could do with a few more pictures. We haven't got enough to make a gallery up at the moment, which is the first time. So please send in just choose 2 builds you've done, doesn't matter when, that you're proud of or embarrassed by, I don't care. Just send them in, it's always interesting to see. If you do have a really terrible one that you think is funny, send that in, and a good one as well, so it gives balance. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget to join as a member if you would like to. You can just click the join button up on the top there on the channel page, and it shows you the different options. And in the meantime, till we meet again, thank you very much for joining me. Take care of yourselves, stay well, stay safe. Thanks a lot, and bye for now.